What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to show you how to replace your headlights in your 2008 Honda Accord. It's going to be pretty straightforward, so let's jump right in. Since we will be removing some wires, let's disconnect our battery to cut off all power. Just loosen the 10mm negative terminal and push the terminal out of the way. Now, in order to remove the headlights, we need to remove the bumper, and in order to do that, we need to remove this upper radiator cover. This plastic piece has 8 push clips holding it in place. These aren't difficult to remove, however, they are brittle, so you will probably break a few of them. I'm going to replace all of them with new ones. So grab your flathead screwdriver and begin removing all 8 clips. Just insert your screwdriver into the clip like this and then give it a turn. This should separate the middle from the outer housing just enough for you to pry the housing with your flathead. Now remove the clip and move on to the other 7. Like I said earlier, some of these will break. The heat that comes from the engine is really the main cause of these clips becoming so brittle. Combine that with different weather conditions and the fact that this car is a 2008, well, it's pretty easy to understand why they break. Luckily, new clips are so cheap, it just makes sense to replace them all. I found a unique push clip set that can be used on any car that I will link down below. Once those are all removed, go ahead and clean up the plastic cover so nothing falls off when you remove it. Now, in order to free the radiator shroud, you need to pull up on the back like this and then pull it towards the engine bay. Then you need to raise the hood release handle in order to maneuver the shroud up and out. Now you need to remove the screws that secure the bumper to the fender. As you can see, it's right behind your fender liner. Just pull back and then you can start unscrewing with your Phillips head screwdriver. Don't forget to remove this screw from each side. If you attempt to remove the bumper with these screws still in place, you could rip this part of your bumper that keeps it flush with your fender. Then you will have to buy a new bumper, or else it'll never stay flush and will flap in the wind, which can cause more body damage if it hits the fender the wrong way, or even worse, if your tire catches it while you're doing 70 on the highway and rips the bumper clean off your car. So yeah, make sure you remove both of these screws. Once those are removed, you can remove the clips under your car. It may help to put your car up on ramps to give yourself some more room. At this camera angle, there are 3 clips. 2 on the side and 1 that's a part of the front. I broke a ton of these clips at the bottom. So again, make sure you buy a set like this so you can keep your bumper securely in place while driving at high speeds. Once the 2 on the side are removed, let's move on to the front clips. I believe there were about 6 total. There's 1. Now I'm going to move the camera to give you a better angle of the other 5 clips. As I'm removing this one, I want you to look at this channel. This is where the other clips are that you want to remove. I'll move the camera again and show you an even better view. Now there's the channel I was referring to, and these are the clips you want to remove. As you can see, I'm missing one of those clips here. Again, not an issue as I will be replacing all of them anyway. Once those clips inside that channel are removed, you can move on to the other side. Now, as you can see, the 2 clips on the driver's side are missing. They will be in the same 2 locations as the clips on the passenger side that we took off earlier. Right here and right here. Since those are missing, let's get that last clip removed so we can remove this bumper. This is the last clip. It's in the same area as the 3rd clip we removed earlier, but this time on the driver's side. And we are done with those old push clips. Now you need to separate the bumper from the bottom of the headlight housing. I like to start from the outside and work my way in. There are a few tabs that are built into the bumper that secure it in place. All you need to do is pull out on the bumper as straight as you can. You don't want to use a ton of force, but you do need to use some in order to break those clips free. Once you feel it is loose enough, you can move on to the other side. Same process. Start from the outside and move your way in. Now do not tug on the bumper just yet. There are 2 pins at the top of the headlight housing that help the bumper rest in place to prevent it from falling after you disconnect everything. Here's one spot. As you can see, there is a hole in this piece of the bumper that fits over the pin on the headlight housing. This is actually a great design that most cars do not implement into their bumpers. And here's the next hole and pin. All that's left is to walk up to the bumper, pull back slightly on those 2 locations that hold the bumper in place over the pins, and then lift the bumper away from the car. If you have fog lights, you will need to disconnect them before removing the whole bumper. These headlights are secured with 3 bolts, one up top here, one to the inside right here, and the last one is back closer to the fender. All 3 of these bolts are 10mm. So go ahead and begin removing them. For the top bolt, you will need to pull up on this plastic cover that runs the length of the fender up top. You can remove the cover if you want to. It's just secured with those push clips we removed earlier from the radiator shroud. You will see the headlight shift down, letting you know it's loose and ready to be removed after removing those 3 bolts. Alright, now the tricky part is going to be getting the headlight out without scratching or breaking anything. There isn't a lot of room for the headlight to just slide out. I tried a few different angles and still kind of struggled. If any of you have seen a better way of getting these out, please leave a comment below so I can add more detailed instructions to the description. Eventually I was able to twist it this way towards the center of the car and the back end popped out. Just be careful, you don't want the headlight to create any deep scratches in your fender. That could lead to rust, which is always a pain to deal with. Once you have the headlights free, you can begin working on these bulbs. These 2 back here are the easiest, so I'll start there. Just push the tab in and pull off. This is the part of the connector that you need to push in to release the locking tab. Same thing with this one. Push in and then pull off. Again, this is the locking tab you push in order to release. Now I'm going to detach this wire harness to give me some slack in order to remove the last 2 connectors. You will need a set of pliers like these. Just squeeze at the base of the clip and it should break free. Let's take a closer look at that clip. All you want to do is squeeze the sides of the clip right here, and this will allow you to pull the harness out of the headlight housing. Now you can finish removing the last 2 connectors. This one was not as easy to remove. These connectors tend to stick a little if they haven't been removed in a long time. It's the same removal procedure as the others. Just push down on the tab and pull off. But this one was being stubborn. And yes, your fingers will start hurting, especially if you're not wearing gloves. But eventually it will break free and you can remove it. Now this connector looks different than the others, but it's still the same concept. There's a tab you need to push in and then you should be able to pull it right off. However, my fingers are too big to push it in all the way. So I grabbed my pliers and used that to push it in so I could pull it off. Here's what that connector looks like, and that right there is the small tab you need to push in. Your headlight should now be free. Oh, and one last thing. If you are replacing your headlight assembly, you will need to remove this plastic piece and transfer it to the new one. This is secured with 2 10mm bolts at the base of the headlight. Remove those and it will just pop right off. Now we can install the headlight back on our vehicle. I'm going to start by pushing the clip for the wire harness back into place. You just need to push it through this hole right here. Then in any order, you can push all the connectors back in. Once those are connected, you can get ready to push the headlight back into place. Oh, and these are the 2 10mm bolts that hold the bracket I mentioned a few minutes ago. With that out of the way, just push the headlight back in. Now take your time on this. As I said earlier, you do not want to start scratching or breaking pieces off. This took me some time, but I found the easiest way was to push the back of the headlight in first near the fender. I'm sure there's a better way to do this, but this is how I did it. Do you see these 2 holes? Your headlight needs to mount to that before you start screwing the bolts back in. Gently pull the headlight back towards the fender. You may need to move it around slightly, but it should slide right in. Now you can start screwing in all 3 of your 10mm bolts. You will notice 2 bolts have rubber cushions on them. These mount to the sides of the headlight. And then you will have a bolt like this. This one has no cushion and it mounts to the top of the headlight. So go ahead and screw them back in. These are screwing into a plastic bracket, so just snug them down and don't over tighten them. On situations like this, I wait until there's resistance while screwing the bolt in, and then I will give it about a quarter of a turn, just like that. Same thing with this one. Wait until you feel it get a little tight, then turn your wrench a quarter of a turn. Perfect. Now do the last one. Just a quarter of a turn after feeling resistance and boom, we are done. Headlight is installed. With that said, let's get the bumper back on. Just line up the bumper's 2 holes up top with those pins in the headlights and make sure the bumper can hang without falling. Now you can work on pushing those clips that are built into the bumper back into place. I wish I would have gotten a better camera angle for all of you, but essentially you need to line up these tabs with the slots under the headlight housing. Just make sure you are lined up perfectly before pushing them in. You don't want to be slightly off and then break those tabs trying to force them in. Once you get it lined up, you can begin pushing. Once that's done, you can do the same thing on the other side. Make sure the tabs are lined up and then just push in. Then you can grab your screw and screw it back in behind the fender liner. Now you can do the same for the other side. Oh, and make sure you push the fender liner back into place. You don't want it to stick out too far because your wheel could grab it while you are driving and rip it out of place. Let's get back under the car and get those push clips installed. Since we're clipping 2 plastic pieces together, you will need to line up both holes before pushing the clip in. You may need to move the plastic shields around a little bit to get them lined up perfectly, just like that. Now I felt around back here and couldn't find the second piece that should connect to this hole. I'm going to assume it was broken off at some point, and that may be why there's a rip in the bumper right here. The original clips probably broke off, and then part of the splash shield must have been ripped off by the tire while driving. Let's just move on. Now if you push one in and it doesn't grab the second splash shield, you will need to remove the clip and then try again. And sometimes you may need to try for a third time. There we go. Now just keep moving along. These next 4, you just need to feel the clip connect the 2 shields together, because as you can see, you really can't get your hand behind it to line it up. This one you can because of the cutout, but the next 2 you just need to feel it go through both splash shields, and you will be able to tell by looking at it. The splash shield shouldn't sag down when you have it connected correctly. See the difference? If you have those clips in correctly, it will hold the splash shields in place just like this. Now do the same for the rest of the clip and then we can move on. Once that's done, we can get off the ground and move on to the upper radiator shroud. So grab the cover and make sure the part facing the front of the car is tilted down. Then lift up on the hood release latch and feed it through the hole in the cover. Now you want to make sure this part of the cover goes underneath the top part of the grille, just like this. And also make sure these 2 bump stops for the hood come through the correct holes in the cover. Once the cover is in place, go ahead and start putting your push clips back in. Like I said earlier, I'm going to be installing all new clips since quite a few of them broke due to their age. If you plan on doing the same with a kit like this, start with the clip that is bigger than the older clips. If it doesn't push in, then try the next size down. Keep trying until you find the clip that fits perfectly. That one worked. Once I get a good camera angle, I'll show you how these clips work. Alright, so check this out. You want to keep the top part of the clip from pushing in before you get the base in place. Just like that. Now you can push the top part of the clip in, and that locks it into the cover. Let's watch that one more time. Push the base into the hole, then push the top in to lock the clip. Pretty simple, right? Do this for the rest of the clips and you are done. That's all there is to it. If you found any part of this video helpful or entertaining, please give it a thumbs up. Also, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that button as well as the notification bell so you don't miss a video from our channel. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.